guys. Okay, let's do this. So, I tried to do this yesterday morning and it did not work for a million different reasons. But this morning, my setup is better, the light is better, everything's better. It's not even the light, it's just the setup, it's the whole thing. I had to break something in order to come across the answer. But now I have the answer, so I'm very happy. And I can fix what I broke. Or I can pay for someone else to fix it maybe. But it was an accident. Anyway, you can see my sage here. I've already cleansed my cards. And you can cleanse with your windows closed, but then you have to open your windows to let air out, to let the bad spirits out, the bad energy. You have to let it escape. Always, 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 always. If you sage with your windows shut, and then leave the room and open the windows. So I've saged my cards, and I'm just going to talk for a minute on Pluto and what point of this reading is, and then we will get started. So, what I have decided to do, because people are asking me about this yesterday, is this reading is going to be moving forward out of a Pluto retrograde. And I have a few notes here, I have like 2 notes. The Pluto retrograde. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pulse of the energy. So I'm not going to do pick cards where you pick 1, 2 or 3. I'm just going to do a general reading. And what I think you will find, what I hope you will find, is that parts of it resonate with you and parts of it you're like, yeah, that doesn't really apply to me, and that's fine. And to be honest with the cards anyway, I might be able to see a few different outcomes. So you'll know which one connects with you the most. So that being said, I think this could be quite interesting. I won't go too long. I'm going to get my one more, because people won't want to watch it. It's too long. Okay, 10:30 Saturday morning, guys. How y'all doing? So, taking the pulse of the energy. So this is just general advice moving forward, what everyone could do to make themselves feel better. Because to be honest, I think that's relevant. And actually, and Pluto is a generational planet anyway. So it affects the masses. So then I do a reading for the masses. Yeah. So I'm just going to talk about Pluto for like 3 minutes, or whatever. I'm going to talk about Pluto for a minute, and then I'm just going to get into the reading. So Pluto, I've talked about him before. Pluto is a very serious planet. Pluto is the planet of evolution. Pluto is not a very nice planet. He's considered malefic in astrology, which is, not benefic. He's not beneficial to us. Well, he is to our growth, but he's not kind about it. He is the forcer of evolution. Like, he will come up and destroy your life when he knows that something needs to change. He's the planet of evolution. He's an outer planet. There are certain streams of astrology that don't even count the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, but I think they're fascinating. I think the outer planets are so interesting, and I've witnessed personally their effect on my own life personally and other people's, so and I have a very personal relationship with Pluto. He's let himself be known to me in a big way, and I'd say he has to all of you, but if you're not following astrology, maybe you just spot it, and that's all well and good. So at the moment, all the planets are moving forward. This is outstanding. It's rare. Retrogrades happen constantly, especially the outer planets. They retrograde an awful lot, half the year, 4 or 5 months of the year, they're retrograding, and their effects are generational. So anyone born between, I think it's 1976 and 84, no, that can't even be right, so it must be 72 to 84, is born with Pluto in Libra, which means that an awful lot of our evolutionary growth comes through our relationship with others, because Libra is the sign of balance and relationship. So, Yeah, all the planets are moving forward, and this time Pluto, because of all the retrogrades that were simultaneously happening with the Pluto retrograde, this time Pluto was really, really serious. It was a heavy transit, and sorry, I'm roasting. It was a heavy transit, and what Pluto made us do this time, he forced us into the mire, man. Everyone was forced to look at, like, I don't know, their grime, man. You know, what we choose to do wrong. We're looking at our addictions, we're looking at our behaviors, like our own behaviors were being pushed in our face an awful lot. The behaviors you don't like, you know, when you see how you respond in situations that's childish and petty, and you know, and you're a bit taken aback by it. You're like, I didn't realize that I acted like that, but indeed I do. So Pluto has forced us over the last 5-6 months to look really deeply. He wanted us to sift very slowly through all of our own crap and to start weeding out what needs to go. But now the energy has shifted, and I felt the shift, to be honest. I feel a lot lighter and I feel a lot less chaotic in my head, which I'm grateful for. And because not only is Pluto moving forward and all the planets are moving forward, but Venus has also been reborn in the sky. And Venus, like, I don't believe that any planet is all good or all bad. No, I don't, or all bad at all. And Venus is the planet of love, and it's beautiful to have her visible again in the sky because the energy does feel a bit softer, but she's also a goddess of war. I mean, you know, let's not be ridiculous here when we're talking about the planets. So Pluto is the planet of evolution, and he forces evolution upon us. And part of our evolutionary journey is to recognize our karmic patterns and our karmic ties and to start releasing them. And that's what we've been forced to look at over the last 5-6 months, and now it's time. And now it's time to start moving on from that. So Pluto wants us to look at our karmic ties, and figure out how it is we're going to free ourselves from them. Pluto doesn't demand sacrifice as such, but he demands change. And you can't change your life without changing yourself. I read that in an article recently. If I could remember the author, I would credit him. But that just blew my mind. I don't know what. You can't change your life without changing yourself. You know, we have to change something huge within ourselves, and then something huge will change in our reality. But it's all about change, guys. Everything's about change anyway. And Pluto is about change. Okay, so I'm going to start the reading. I'm going to use the Osho Zen Tarot deck because I love it. I love it. And I feel very connected to these cards. Kerry gave them to me. Kerry, thank you if you're watching. Kerry gifted me these cards, and they blow my mind. They've been blowing my mind for a long time. I really dig the readings that come from it. So as we begin every tarot card reading, I'm going to light some incense. As we begin every tarot card reading with a prayer. Archangel Michael, Archangel Michael, Archangel Michael, please come. Please come and bless and cleanse this space. Please bless and cleanse this space. Please bless and cleanse this space. Thank you. I ask you to please bless and cleanse cards. Please bless and cleanse cards. Please bless and cleanse cards. Thank you. Please bless and cleanse me. Thank you. And please bless and cleanse whoever's watching. I send you love, light, cleansing, ease. Go easy, people. Go easy on yourselves. Because we'll be burning away there for a little minute. I like incense. I don't like too much of it. And look at my beautiful crystals here. I don't have, most of my crystals are in Ireland, but I'm going home soon for a few days, so I'm going to collect them. Anyway, let's see what the angels would like us to know about coming out of a Pluto retrograde and what we've learned within that Pluto retrograde and how we should move forward. Okay, so Archangel Gabriel, will you connect with me, please? Thank you. So we have, oh, beautiful card, healing. Yeah, morality, the dream, and harmony. That's interesting. Okay. So the first, we have a lot of cups energy, so there's a lot of emotional energy going on here. So we have the healing card, which is the Queen of Cups in the Osho Zen Tarot. And so, as the first card out of the deck, I'm not going to force them towards the camera, because if I do that, as in push them towards the camera, because if I do that, the autofocus goes crazy, and it takes ages to refocus again, and it wrecks the video. Well, it doesn't wreck the video, it's a bit harsh, but you know what I mean. So we have Queen of Cups, and this is why I like the Osho Zen. Healing. There has been so much healing going on, and it's been very, very intense, and none of us can deny that. Everyone feels like we've been ripped open, like just ripped open and just forced, really, really forced to look at like everything we've ever done wrong. And it's hard, you know what I mean? Like doing that, living in that, and seeing yourself and seeing all these patterns, these personality patterns that you have that you don't like. You're like, I didn't realize I do that, and I don't like it. I don't like it in other people, and I certainly don't like it in myself. Like, what? But the Queen of Cups is here to tell us that, you know, it's okay. First of all, no matter how much personal work we do on ourselves, there's always going to be shadow sides to our personality that we think is a bit like, oh, really kind of wish I would handle that better. You know, the only thing we can do is observe. Like, it is about staying calm. You know, the Queen of Cups, she is an emotional body, but she's calm. She understands that emotions are far-reaching, and they change quickly, and they catch us off guard sometimes, and they can be a roller coaster. She's aware of all that, but she chooses to observe her emotional responses in a very mature, but also like loving and understanding manner. You know what I mean? The Queen of Cups, she really is, she's soft, gentle, beautiful energy that comes entirely from her heart. She doesn't really think at all, and it's very interesting because the next card we have is basically the complete opposite, but this was the first card out of the deck, and so the energy that we need to be looking for, and the energy that we ultimately need to really, really be trying hard to cultivate coming out of this Pluto retrograde period, is one of peaceful compassion towards ourselves. You know, like, it's first and foremost towards yourself. This is something I've learned, like, you know, things, and especially with the tarot as well, because certain cards come out and people think, oh, is the world going to do that to me? And you're like, no, you're doing it. It's all down to us, you know? So the Queen of Cups, she's the first card out. She's an important card in this reading. And she says that we are in charge of our emotional well-being. And it's through kindness and compassion to ourselves that we can learn to move forward with these new realizations that we've had about ourselves. You know, you're not going to change yourself by flogging yourself on the back and, oh, you failed, and oh, this didn't work, and la la la. Anyway, failure doesn't exist. Failure is a stupid word. Like, you know, they're just experiences that we learn from. So we have that. So there's great healing. Healing is coming to us. Healing is occurring. It's already occurring. It's coming from the outside in as well, but it needs to come from the inside out. We want to match this healing vibration that we're being offered. Now, I think it's super funny because here we have quite a few. So these are all cups. We've got 3 cups cards, pardon me, and your cups are your emotional well-being, your emotional responses. Your cups are your emotions, water, heart. So with all this healing going on, and there are patterns here that have been witnessed that we're about to move out of, it's time to kind of, we need to temper this Queen of Cups energy, because like I said, she's all from her heart. She doesn't use her head at all. Like she's got very little logic. She hasn't, she won't use it because she believes that the emotional body is just much more important. And then we have the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords is an exceptional woman as well. Outstanding. And if you're male or female, it doesn't matter. This is just the energies that come up, because the kings do mean other things. So the Queen of Swords is an exceptional energy, but her entire demeanor is about cutting out the bullshit. Like, the Queen of Swords takes no nonsense from anybody. She's very often a mature woman. She's often divorced and, you know, has been through it all. Like, she's lived it all. She's been married. She's been a CEO. She's gone through life. Like, she understands the ups and the downs. You know, you can't kid the Queen of Swords. Like, often has a very good sense of humor and stuff like this as well, because the swords represent mind energy. So she's smart and she's on it. But she, the Queen of Swords, will take her sword of truth, her sword of universal truth, and she will use it to cut people out of her life that she knows are holding her back, and to cut patterns out of her life. And this is the card of patterns. So I just think, like, it's very interesting how the cards have come up so far. So our emotional well-being has been compromised over the last 6 months, but we're working on it now, and we see what needs to be healed, and we're actively trying to heal it in a beautiful manner towards ourselves. And we are also taking no crap. Like, the Queen of Swords sees what needs to be removed, and she does it. She removes the crap. Like, it's all well and good to have an open heart and be an emotional person, but people sense when you're open-hearted, and they come to you, and there are a lot of people out there who just want to take advantage. You know what I mean? Like, that's just a fact. That's the world we live in. I'm way past this, oh, we're all secretly good, la la la. Like, I believe all babies are born good, but you know, the world can do interesting things to people, and that's just how it goes. So the Queen of Swords says, cut out the crap. You know now, you know, because you've listened to your heart, what needs to go, so it's time to go. And we have the Six of Cups. The Six, which is the dream. The dream. So this is a card of repeating patterns. And it's a card of, you know, you have to see the pattern in order to be able to break it. And I think Pluto has forced us all to see patterns, because I'm talking to people as well a lot about these things, and they're just like, oh my God, I didn't realize I do that, and now I just see it constantly, that I'm doing it over and over and over again. And I think it's really interesting. But the Six of Cups, like, it's important not to be held back. So now is the time, to accept that we have things we need to cut out of our lives. We've matured emotionally, and now we need to cut things out of our lives. And what we need to cut out are the patterns that we just repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat that hold us back completely. Like, the dream is attainable, but we got work to do, man. And it needs to go. Like, the thing is, she's looking at the dream, but this is the reality, you know what I mean? And the reality is, she's sitting on her arse and she's in a fantasy, and she's like, oh, this guy can come and save me and it'll all be so good. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody's ever coming to save you. We have to do the work on our own. Like, nobody is coming to help. And if someone does come along and you think that they're saving you, they're not. You know, they're just taking control. And once we give our power away, then that's a whole new system of patterns and learning, because we have to learn to take our power back. No one's coming to help you. You have to do it on your own. Understand that. That's a life lesson. That is rule number 1. So we need to, like, that's even funny to me, because I don't think it is, but it is. That's a sword. You know what I mean? Queen of Swords, and then we have a sword in the card cup, which is very interesting. So she's like, and she's actually, the sword is like stabbing the fantasy. Like, this is ridiculous. She needs to pick herself up, and if she wants to go find a man, whatever, you know, she needs to maybe get up and get out there. Don't be sitting around waiting for someone to come along and knock on your door, because they're not coming. But that's not the point. This isn't a love reading. This reading is about how we can look after ourselves, okay? So the dream as well, that's part of it. Whatever fantasy it is that you're holding on to, whether it's regards to a person or a job or whatever fantasy it is that you've been reliving, like it's holding you back and it's time to cut it out. You might be able to hear my neighbours. I live in a population dense area at the moment. They're nice people, but you know, there's people everywhere. So I'm just going to keep recording. And then we have Harmony, which is a lovely card. So, you know, we emotionally mature, we see our patterns, we start cutting them off, and then Harmony comes to us. Now this card, I love this card. Look, you can see, so she's looked into her heart. She's looked into her heart, and it's hurt her to look into her heart and see the real truth of the situation. But because she did, and because she's done a lot of inner work that possibly hurt her, you know, her heart is opening up and she's releasing what she doesn't need, and it's allowing her to connect her third eye to the universe and her third eye to what it is that she needs to be looking at in order to find the harmony within her own life. Like all of this healing, you know, we have to do our own healing. We have to look within, we have to do it. There's no one doing it for us, and that's just the way it goes. You know, but like generally, like what I'm trying to say is if we're willing to do the reading and look at the work, and look at our patterns. I just think it's funny as well that like what I said earlier about Pluto being patterns and karmic ties, like this is the card of patterns. You know, and it's clear to me what the cards are saying, and I hope I'm bringing it across in a good way. Let's see what else the cards want to bring. Okay, thank you cards. We're maturing, we're cutting out the crap, we're seeing the fantasy for what it is, which is a fantasy which doesn't bring joy anyway, like, you know, and we're moving on to emotional and spiritual freedom and connection, which is just beautiful really, you know. What else would the cards like us to know? So we're moving on. Oh, nice. Okay, these are interesting actually, because they seem like kind of opposing energies, but they're not. So we have Adventure, and we have the Rebel. This is a major arcana card. This is the first major arcana that we're getting. Major arcana are the fated life events that are occurring, or like they're dramatic, they're big important events. They don't have to be dramatic in action, but they're big important events that are happening in our lives right now. So we have Adventure, so Adventure first. This is a card of deciding to go on an adventure. I love this card, it brings me great joy. That's just a little kid and walking off into the rainbow. These are very colourful cards, as opposed to the blue energy, which is a beautiful and very healing and calming. Like this to me looks very pleasant, you know what I mean? So we have Adventure, and Adventure is when we choose to connect ourselves, when we choose to have faith in ourselves and connect ourselves to the universe and follow our heart and follow the guidance that we receive from the universe on a continuous basis. It gives us the freedom to release ourselves, and it gives us our freedom to release ourselves from our patterns and our karmic ties and the bullshit. So much bullshit. And it makes us brave enough to go on an adventure. I hope I didn't wreck the camera there. Brave enough to go on an adventure, which is super cool, man. But this is the card as well. So this is the Pentacles card, and the Pentacles are about your physical resources and having enough of them. So, you know, I know none of us at the moment, like, you know, worldwide, with the class systems the way they are, a lot of us are on the not so wealthy end. But, you know, realistically, a lot of us have enough, and we have a lot. And even the fact that we're like white Irish people, which is, I'm guessing, who's going to be watching this video, you know, we're super privileged, really. We're highly educated. We come from a European country. We hold European passports. Like, you know, there's welfare in our country. Like, we're okay. You know what I mean? But the Adventure card is about when we do the work, you're free, you know, an energy lifts, a weight lifts, and you're free to go. And that's what this card is about. This card is about just deciding to go on an adventure. And then we have the Rebel. This is really interesting because in the original tarot, this is the no. I was going to say that, no. This is the Emperor. And the Emperor energy is one of... The Emperor is like your dad, you know what I mean? Or he's like Saturn. He's like, did you do the work? But did you do the work? Show me the work. Where's the work? Have you done it? You need to build up a solid foundation in your life. Do the goddamn work. Okay. And they seem opposing because this one seems kind of like running away and this one seems like the completely opposite, static, stay here energy. So let's have a look. You see, that's what it is. So there's adventure as well in trusting ourselves. You know what I mean? And like the Emperor does that. The Emperor makes his decisions and he knows that he is right. And he doesn't question and he doesn't look for advice and he doesn't say, oh, you know, hey guys, I'm going to do this. What do you think? He thinks, I have matured. I know what I want in life. I have cut out the bullshit and I am brave enough, adventure, to see through what I want to do. And it's not even to see through what I want to do. I'm brave enough and I'm doing what I want to do. Like, things don't get in the way of the Emperor. The Emperor does what the Emperor wants. You know what I mean? That's a strong energy. That's a good energy. And it's another energy that, you know, like I have to say, this is a nice reading and there's hope in it. Most definitely. It feels uplifted. But like the Emperor is a serious card as well, you know. And yeah, we got to do work. Okay, Tarot, I'm going to finish up on these cards. So what would you like to bring in now? So what have we looked at? We do the work. Adventure, the Rebel. Yeah, it's time to... it's time to look at what we want to do with our lives and do it. No one's coming. You got to do what you want. You got to do what you want and you have to build what you want. Like the Emperor as well, he does build. He builds what he wants. He builds what he sees fit. He does build what he sees fit for society, but he also, he rules society. So it also benefits him. You know what I mean? So it's time to trust ourselves. It's time to know that we've gone through the mire. We've looked at all these painful things that we needed to shift. We've done it. Queen of Swords energy. We've got our Sword of Truth out and we're whacking all the energy cords that we need to break. We're like cutting them all over the place. It's great. And that freedom, the freedom of doing that, will allow us to have a bit more strength and faith in ourselves to build what we want to build. So it's a positive time, guys, but it's not a time to rest on our laurels. You know, the Rebel as well, that's the thing. That's what I find very interesting. The Emperor would be a very stuck well, he's not stuck, that's not true, but he's just a dad energy, you know. And then in this card, it's called the Rebel, which I think is really interesting because when you take control of your lives, when we do take control of our lives and we finally decide to do what we want to do, a lot of people disagree with us. Are you sure? You can't do that? Is that going to work? It's a big risk you're taking, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, do it. Be the rebel in your own life, as my friend Catherine says. You know, living her revenge life. You know what I mean? Even though I don't want to go for a run, I'm going to take revenge on myself and go for a run. I don't go running. I would like to go running. But it's that kind of thing, you know, rebel against your own heavy thoughts. Rebel against your own, I can't do it attitude. Rebel against your own, oh, I've got this job. Rebel against it all, you know what I mean? And build the future you want to build. Adventure. Now is the time as well. This isn't just advice. The cards are saying to go for it. You know what I mean? Go for it. Follow your dreams. Okay, Tarot. Now, I think I'm going to finish up. I'm going to take time. See, 11 o'clock, Oh, okay. Still a lot of emotional. So, who's this guy? The Hanged Man. So, new vision. This is a time of new beginnings, but I see there's lack of movement here. You know, there's a new vision. What's this? Sorrow. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, So we've got New Vision. This is another major arcana card. And this is a card, this is a great card. Well, yeah, it is. It's a great card. This is a card of moving out of the mud, really. This is a card about being stuck in the mud, to be perfectly honest. But it's not mud. It's like you're suspended and there's not much happening. And you're not really sure how to move forward. But the energy of the Hanged Man is, it's not... So I know I've said all this about moving forward and going for it and going after your dreams, and I still completely agree with that. But now is a time of just building, now is a time of building the foundations, because that's what the Rebel does as well. And the Hanged Man kind of now is parroting that. It's time to plan, and it is with a view to looking forward, but there might be something you need to sacrifice in order to get yourself there. Because there's a minor air of sacrifice around the Hanged Man. Might be a pattern, it might be a habit that is not good for you. I don't know, eating, drinking, smoking weed, you know. It could be many things, but there might be something you need to sacrifice for the greater good. It could even just be a way of thinking, you know. It might be a pattern that it probably is, well, it is a pattern. But it could just be something like allowing your neighbor to kind of control your day because you do favors for your neighbor and they're taking advantage, and now you spend half your day running down to the shop to buy things for your neighbor, when if they just made a list you could have just gone to the shop once with them, you know, just things like that. So there is something maybe you need to sacrifice, but this is an energy of new beginnings as well. So even though maybe at this moment it doesn't feel like things are moving forward, that's because we're still in the organization phase. But it's a very important phase, the organization phase. I'm in the organization phase, actually. That's interesting. Well, of course, you know, this reading applies to me as well. But it's the focus stage. This is the stage of taking notes, writing out your plans, having a look at it, realizing that's nonsense. Taking that bit out, moving on, trying something. Like I said, I don't know if I said it, I tried to do this yesterday, it didn't work. So I had to replan. And I did have to replan, actually. And it all worked out very well. But while all this is going on, because this has been a very solitary kind of reading, you know, we have friends, friendliness. We have friends. And if we go to the world, if we come at the world with a friendly demeanor, you know, at least we can say we did that. I tried to keep the peace. At least I was pleasant about it. Yes, that person was rude to me, but you know, I mean, obviously if someone is being ridiculously rude, you break contact and you get out of there, because the Queen of Swords came at it with from a positive mindset, and we tried to be helpful. So, you know, friendliness is important to bring forward with us, because we have to live in a friendly world, guys. We have to be nice to each other. Like, if we're not nice to each other, what is the point? It makes it so difficult, you know. And where I am at the moment, people are really lovely, and I'm surprised, because I kind of didn't expect it, but you know, and all Irish people that I'm meeting here are like, people over here are very, very friendly, so I think it's lovely. Now, I will say this, clinging to the past, this is the Five of Cups. This is a card of, look how head fucked she is. I shouldn't say the F word. But she's very, you know, her head is wrecked. This is... always the way, you know. I think it's because I'm a bit of a fantasist. I'm like, oh, if you just do the inner work, your life is going to be amazing. You will never be unhappy again. You know, and I've been guilty of thinking that in the past, but that's ridiculous, because we live on planet Earth, and planet Earth is, you know, interesting and active constantly. So, like, look how colourful these cards are. Like, this is a really nice energy. This is an energy of moving on and of new beginnings and new vision, you know, and it's time to go with it. It's time to plan. It's time to dream and fantasize and move forward with your friendly, kind, light-hearted, beautiful energy in you and around you, because we've matured now and we see that coming at people with a good, friendly manner is the way to do it. But there's always just going to be, like, tarot always does. There's always going to be life. You know what I mean? Life is always going to come and make you feel bad, and emotionally drain you, and this didn't work out, and I'm upset about this, and la 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 la. But you know, I do have to say, this card as well, clinging to the past. Like, yes, life will always come, but how we take it is what matters, you know, and clinging to the past isn't the answer. Like, there's all kinds of plans that we want to move forward with, and there's ways we can do it. But if we're going to keep going back to this, oh, but it was so sad when that happened, and oh, but I can't move on from this, and oh, but it's not up to me, and other people have the power, like, that's all bullshit. And the only person being held back is you, us, me, whatever. You know, and 5 energy as well is an energy of change, freedom and change, but change. So we have to move out of this headspace of allowing ourselves to get so head up that that's what our brain looks like. I mean, that looks like a hot mess, dude. And it's crap, and there's bullshit words going between the mouths, like, you know, there's no proper communication going on here. And if she could just take her head out of that, like, she'd see all the beautiful stars she's surrounded with, but instead she's completely trapped in this, you know, it feels and it looks like a wall of insanity. So she needs to work towards releasing all of this, and the way to do that is the power of the Hanged Man. I think it's time to take a step back. And, you know, I'd say retreat for a little while. Retreat for, I mean, you know, it could mean an hour, it could mean a week. Like, depending on who you are, that could mean many things. It might mean a drive out to take a swim somewhere beautiful, just on your own for an afternoon. Like, but it's time to retreat, and then it's time to write some stuff down. You gotta write down your plans, write down your dreams and your desires, write down what it is you want to manifest, write down what it is that you're bringing into your life. Always writing, I am, I have, I love, always writing in the now. Because, like, the fact is, anxieties will come and go, things will come and go, head wreck will come and go, but you have to be able to observe it and then step back from it. I feel a hot mess right now. I feel like my head's gonna explode. I felt like that yesterday. I tried to do this, everything went like, it was super, you know, funny, but I just ran out of here, and I texted my friends and I said, oh my God, what are you doing? Will we go for a walk, please? And I went to meet my lovely friends and their new baby, and it was so gorgeous, you know. And then I came back yesterday evening and I felt a lot better, and I got up again today and I did this again. You know, I just think it's very interesting. So it's a time to retreat. It's a time to pull back, take it easy, just pull back. I'm not doing this for like an hour. Me time. Write some stuff down. Yeah, connect with your inner self. You know, meditation really helps as well, guys. You know, the 2 cups energy, and actually the major arcana, like, meditation really helps. So I've gone way longer than I planned to. I'm going to leave it there. I didn't pull any oracle cards. I'll do that next time maybe. But I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope it made sense. Do the work. Keep the faith. But do get organized, guys. Write stuff down. Write stuff down. I can see that in the reading. It's basically talking to me. Write stuff down. You know, live the life you want. And I was talking about releasing things. The next full moon, I don't know when it is, but it's about a week away. I don't really know. But it's very easy to Google. Is it the 13th of October? Anyway, yeah, because the new moon was the 20th. Right, it's around the 13th of October. So full moon is a time to release. So on a full moon, and where is it? Full moon will be in Aries. Yeah. Write down and burn. Fire sign. Burn it. What you want to release. Burn it. Burn that. You know? Burn the paper. No. Yeah. Pure little ceremony. But it's a release ceremony. And I know people are like, yeah, okay, Jackie, you're always talking about releasing things. How do you release things? It's an intention. I find that confusing as well. You know what I mean? How am I supposed to release things? And then you release something and it's still in your head. You're like, I thought I released that. But, like, rituals do help. You know what I mean? And intentions help. Sit down, burn a bit of something to cleanse the area a little bit of sage, bit of incense, whatever. And then sit down and, like, set your intention. I like to call in the angels. I like to call in my spirit guides. You know, I might do something on that at the time. We'll see. Okay, love you all very much. I hope this helped. I'm open to critique, not in public. If you want to PM me and say it helped you or it didn't, like if you want to leave comments, please do. But, you know, I'm open to friendly, kind-worded critique. You know, is it too long? Would you have preferred more cards? I don't know. Did I talk too much? Did I say M too much? There's nothing I can do about that. Don't insult my deliverance. I hope you all have a great day. I'm going to upload this. I'm pretty nervous about it, but I decided to go for it anyway. And yeah, that's all. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind, loving, and compassionate at all times to yourselves. And send that energy out to all other people. Kindness is what will change the world. I truly believe that. So be kind to yourselves, lovely people. Good luck, have a beautiful day, and I'll see you all soon.